I know it ain't gonna help you look better. It ain't gonna make you ride better. It ain't even gonna help you with your wheelies, but it could keep you safe, okay? Could keep you safe, and that was the point of this video.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
What's going on, forums? Dr. Deviate. Today I want to talk about a very unpopular topic, one that nobody wants to talk about, but we're going to talk about it today and why it's important, okay? What we're talking about is brakes and brake fluid, okay? I'm having an issue with my bike. She's about 5 months old, and when I get up in the mornings, sometimes, not all the time, I grab that front brake and it will go all the way to the bar. I release it, grab it again, and it pumps right back up, okay? Instead of believing that it's a mechanical problem, I'm willing to bet a week's paycheck that it's an air problem. I got air in the system, maybe from the factory, I don't know, but I bet you there's air in the system and that's the problem. So I'm going to bleed the brakes first and then see how that works out. If that doesn't, of course, fix the problem, then I'll go ahead and call my local dealership and get it fixed under warranty, okay? But today my son came over, we bled the brakes, all right? I did pull air out of the top bleeder line, all right? And now the brakes are a lot stiffer than they ever were, okay? She's pretty good, guys. Look at that. That's all it's moving. Pretty stiff now. So definitely a lot more than I had from the factory, okay? So let's talk about what I did and how I did it, all right? I let the bike set overnight, all right? You always want to let it set overnight for at least a few hours, all right? Because you have a top bleeder, you want that air to work its way up in the system, and it's easier to get it out of the top than it is the bottom. Anyways, for me it is anyways, okay? So what we're talking about is, we come in here. If you have any doubt about what fluid you use, it'll be right here. It's .4, okay? Gen 1, 2, and 3 use .4, all right? Right up underneath that is this little black rubber piece. If you pull that off, you can see there's the bleeder, okay? You put a wrench on here, you crack it, and you can squeeze the lever and push fluid out of it to bleed the system, all right? Now, how do you do that without making a mess, especially with all your paint and plastics? Because we know this brake fluid will eat that stuff up quickly, all right? How we do that, guys, is with a little bitty product called a speed bleeder bag. This is a speed bleeder bag. There you go. And you see it has a 5mm inside diameter tube, okay? Now, this little bag is about $13 off of Amazon. I'll put a link to it in the description below, all right? You pull this little black piece off of it. You come over here. You pull this off. You push this on just like that. Boom. Okay? And you can just let this bag hang down. It ain't gonna hurt nothing, all right? Always remember that you do not want to release this with this valve open. Never release your lever with the valve open, okay? So what I do personally is I'll crack the valve open, squeeze and hold it. As I'm holding it, I'll use my other hand and close the valve. Once the valve is closed, I will release it, all right? And I'll continue to do that over and over again until I don't see any air bubbles coming out of here, all right? Believe me, you'll see them. I saw them coming out. Keep an eye on your reservoir. Make sure it doesn't get too low because you don't want to suck air into the system. You're just defeating the purpose at that point, okay? Now, note to oneself, these screws are not attached to the lid. So meaning on some models and makes of models, you can undo these screws and lift the lid up and they won't fall out of the lid. These will, okay? So when you loosen them up, go most of the way and stop and screw them out by hand because you don't want to drop them down here in this mess. You might not ever get them back. So screw them out by hand the rest of the way, then pull it off, okay? And add your fluid as needed. Like I said, crack it, hold it, close it back, release. You'll see air and fluid coming out of here. It'll go into the bag, won't make a mess at all, okay? And you can use it down here on your bottom bleeders as well, on each side, okay? And that's how you bleed the system on your Hayabusa, or any bike for that matter, okay? Very, 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 very easy. Now, that's the bleeding process. Now let's talk about your brake fluid itself, guys. Brake fluid is a perishable item.
Is a perishable item. Like you two monkeys.
Okay, we all know this. But what you don't know is how fast it can go away, all right? Your manual says flush the system every 2 years. Guys, I'm telling you, do it, all right? Now, you can get longer out of it if you test your fluid. And what I mean by that is, I have a tester right here. This is a brake fluid tester. You see it lights up, okay? You just basically take these two prongs, stick it down in the fluid, hit the button, and it will tell you what the percentage, it'll tell you what the percentage of moisture that is in the system, okay? Now let me spin this camera around. Here's some brake fluid I've had sitting on my shelf for 2 years. 2 years, that's it. Only 2 years. And we only used a very little of it to put in my son's dirt bike, okay? So if you take this, squeeze it. I'm just gonna go ahead and squeeze it so you can see that it's showing nothing, it's showing 0. Now as I put it down in here, look at that. Look at that lighten up. Oop. See it lighten up? That's no good, guys. That's greater than 2% water. And it's been sitting on my shelf with the cap on it, okay? Sitting on my shelf with the cap on it. That's a lot more sealed than the system on your bike, okay? And it's got water in it after 2 years. Trust me, your system on your bike will get water too, especially if it's outside in the rain. Maybe you don't have a garage or something and the bike lives outside, or you live in a high humidity area like we do in South Texas. Check it once a year. Every 2 years, change it. If you have a tester, go ahead and test it. If it shows 0, leave it. No sense changing it, okay? If you have a tester. But the moment it starts showing moisture, get it out of there, okay? Because what it's going to do is it's going to rust your calipers from the inside. Those pistons moving in and out, those nice, pretty, shiny pistons, they're going to rust, okay? I've seen it. I've seen it on a Dodge Ram truck that was only about 7 years old, and the rear caliper rusted on the inside so bad that it seized up the pistons. And when I took it apart, I mean, it was just horrible. It looked like it had been stuck in salt water its whole life, okay? That's what moisture in your line will do, okay? It'll rust your hardware up from the inside. Also, as it gets moisture in it and you're braking real hard and your brakes are generating a lot of heat, okay? That heat is going to evaporate that water, okay? And when it evaporates that water, it's going to create steam. Steam is going to make your lever feel spongy, okay? So if you're riding or your bike's getting older and you notice that your lever's a little spongier than it used to be, could be your brake fluid, guys. Change it out. Could fix your problem, because brake fluid doesn't compress. Steam does, okay? Moisture does. Water don't, but steam and moisture do, okay? And if it has water in it and it gets hot and it boils that water out of there, it will get spongy, okay? You'll have air and steam in your brake system. So that's the video today, guys. That's what I wanted to talk about. I know it ain't gonna help you look better, it ain't gonna make you ride better, it ain't even gonna help you with your wheelies, but it could keep you safe, okay? Could keep you safe, and that was the point of this video, and to show you some of the tools that you could use to bleed your system. Very easy process, not something to be afraid of at all, guys. You know, there's a ton of videos out there showing you how to do it. I went over a quick, brief description on how to do it. I know I failed the city. I'm a horrible superhero. I should have put it on camera today when my son came over to do this, and I didn't do it, so I failed you guys, and I'm sorry. Next time I have to bleed a system or anything like that, I will make sure I get the camera out, and I'll make sure I get it on there for you so you guys can see the process and how I personally do it, okay? That's it. So till next time, I'm going to make another video about how I maintenance my bike, what I use for washing it, what I use for chain maintenance, because I do not use chain lube. I do not. I don't believe in this stuff, okay? I know you're thinking to yourself, this guy's nuts. I'm gonna show you my secret, okay? And I don't use water to wash my bike, okay? If you want to wash your bike with water, in about 2 or 3 years, especially where I live, every damn bolt on it will be rusted up and it'll look like hammered shit. Sorry, my French is off the walls today, but it'll look horrible. I don't use water, okay? I'll show you what I use in the next video. I'll show you how I maintenance my chain and what I do, and I'll tell you why I do it, and I'll show it to you, and it's going to blow your mind, okay? So that being said, till next time, keep it upright, be safe, and peace.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind.